Welcome to April 27th, 2026. The singularity is the weather now, not the forecast. Nick Bostrom says what surprised him most is this extended era of roughly human-level AI, which has already stretched 3 to 5 years and may stretch further, an era both alien and familiar. Demis Hassabis, who once said AGI required 1 to 2 more breakthroughs, now thinks it's a coin flip whether more are needed at all. The economy refuses to collapse on cue. Sam Altman mocked the gap between post-AGI nobody works predictions and users adopting polyphasic sleep so they can ship more code with GPT 5.5 and Codex. The strategic frame is flipping too. OpenAI's Noam Brown notes that model weights now matter relatively less than securing inference compute, which is to say, the prize is no longer the recipe, but the kitchen. The recipes also live faster and die younger, with GPT 4.0 running for 21 months, while GPT 5.4 lasted only 49 days, a mayfly schedule for synthetic minds. The mayflies, however, are getting things done. Liam Price, a 23-year-old with no advanced math training, used a single GPT 5.4 Pro prompt to crack an Erdish problem that had eluded prominent minds, prompting Terry Tao to muse that humans hit a mental block from making a slight wrong turn at move 1. The substrate of intelligence is stretching from your pocket to your living room. OpenAI is reportedly working with MediaTek and Qualcomm on AI smartphone processors, with Luxshare manufacturing and mass production targeted for 2028. Apple, not to be outflanked, has 6 major product categories in the pipeline, including AI AirPods, smart glasses, pendants, smart displays, tabletop robots, and security cameras. The back end is scaling to match. Kevin O'Leary is planning a hyperscale data center in Utah's Box Elder County that will generate its own power, clean its own water for the Great Salt Lake, and consume more electricity than the entire state. Demand is so excessive, says the AWS CEO, that we have never retired old A100s, a sign that we have entered the post-obsolescence era of silicon. Robotics is reaching maturity on both sides of the dual-use coin. China's state grid is deploying 500 humanoid robots for high-voltage operations, where the optimal failure mode is now a melted servo rather than a melted operator. Less reassuringly, 15 Series Air C-31 chemical spraying drones were just stolen in New Jersey, with the FBI investigating a possible nightmare scenario. Deployment surface and attack surface are now expanding at the same rate. Powering all of this requires reaching past the grid and into orbit. Public markets have warmed to new energy, with nuclear startup X-Energy raising $1 billion in an IPO and popping 25% out of the gate, while geothermal startup Fervo filed at roughly a $3 billion valuation. Meta is going further afield, signing for up to 1 gigawatt of space solar from Overview Energy, beamed from satellites to data centers below. The compute itself is preparing to leave the planet. SpaceX approved a plan that will grant Elon Musk 60 million additional shares if its market cap climbs from $1.1 trillion to $6.6 trillion, while delivering 100 terawatts of compute per year from space data centers, orders of magnitude beyond peak U.S. power consumption. Humans are practicing for the trip. The ESA has sealed 6 participants into a simulated Mars mission in Cologne, with no exit until August. Biology is upgrading on a parallel exponential. Intellia Therapeutics announced the first Phase 3 success for an in vivo CRISPR treatment that actually edits a disease-causing gene. Human hardware itself is being optimized. Athletes Sebastian Sawe and Yomif Kajelcha broke the sub-2-hour marathon barrier in London using next-generation Adizero Adios Pro Evo 3 shoes. The longevity sector is now a heavyweight rival to AI itself, with Ozempic and Mounjaro out-earning OpenAI and Anthropic combined in 2025. The institutional layer is scrambling to catch up. Major insurers including Berkshire Hathaway, Chubb, and Travelers have won approval to drop AI-related damages from corporate policies, excluding claims like agents misusing copyrighted material in marketing. A bipartisan House AI bill is targeting deepfakes and whistleblower protections, while the Supreme Court will decide whether geofence warrants violate the Fourth Amendment. Some analog holdouts remain surprisingly resilient, with 70% more bookstores in the US than 6 years ago. The future, though, may belong to non-humans. Varda's Andrew McCallett predicts an AI-led S&P 500 company in 5 years and an AI-elected official in 20. Sam Altman, anticipating that future, just published 5 core principles to guide OpenAI's mission: democratization, empowerment, universal prosperity, resilience, and adaptability. Matter learned to think, and now the thinking is learning to leave.